Welcome to Dcar, everybody. My name is Dave. This is my 2017 BMW i8 that I've owned for almost 8 months now, and this is a video showing you about the 5 things that I dislike about the i8. And I'm not gonna say 5 things that I hate, because it's not things that I hate, it's just things that are inconvenient for me at some point, and they might be a deal breaker if you're looking into purchasing one. Going straight into number one of the things that you need to consider when purchasing a vehicle of this caliber, when looking into purchasing a BMW i8, is getting into the car. Now, you need to make sure that you know why you're buying an i8, because getting into this car is quite the hassle. Now, after you've got your safety hat on, you're gonna move forward to the car, all right? And once you're at the door, you're gonna open it, and you're gonna make sure to hit your head while going in, hitting it again, and then sitting on the pillar. Once you've sit on the pillar, you're gonna push yourself backwards into the car, most probably hitting your head again at the pillar and getting in, hitting it a couple of more times, and now you're comfortably sitting in the i8 and you're safe. This is when you're gonna be able to remove your helmet, put it to the side, and be on your merry way. Another thing that I don't like about the i8 is the fact that the windows don't roll all the way down. And this is an issue. Now, I know you're gonna say this is a first world problem. Oh my God, your car's window doesn't roll down. How bad for you? But no, seriously, when you want to put your arm on the seal over here, you can't do it. It's gonna bother you. And to be one, that's our drone delivery guy, because we forgot to take our drone with us. Anyways, back to the video. When you want to put your hand or arm on the window, you can't do it because it's gonna be bothering. And when I first got the car, there was a learning curve, because usually when I'm driving the car, okay, I'm gonna put my hand here, I'm gonna put my arm like this, and it bruised my elbow. It bruised it, and it was hurting for a couple of weeks until I learned that I cannot do this anymore because it's gonna hurt, and I have to put it either like this or I have to put it from the inside, which is why? Why do we need to have this? Why is this like this? Now, I've done a bit of research. I think it's so that the door hinge would go back inside and blah, blah, blah and whatnot. But let's be honest, this isn't the first car with doors that go up. This isn't the first car with butterfly doors, and this is unnecessary. And I think it could have been something avoided if a bit of more ingenuity was gone into designing the window. And another thing, the trunk. It's non-existent. It's useless. You can't put anything inside of it. Let me show you. Walking back to the car of the i8, when you open the trunk lid, first of all, you're met with this. What's this, you might be asking? Well, this is your 3-cylinder engine, and this is your trunk space. Now, what can you fit in your trunk space? You can fit your safety helmet. Other than that, it's useless. And the reason why we can't use the trunk for anything else is because not only do we have a confined space that nothing big actually fits in it, it also heats up. So anything, whether it be groceries, ice cream, lipstick, whatever it is, you can't put it in the trunk. It's gonna heat up and it's gonna melt. The trunk is gonna be one of the warmest places in the car, and it is useless for anything other than a couple of clothes and maybe your turkey dinner, because you want that to be warm. Now, the car does produce a good quality sound from the engine, especially if you put it in sports mode or you're shifting it manually. You have that rumble that shows you that this is not just an ordinary hybrid car, but something special. But in both cases, no matter what you do, at the end of the day, it's a 3-cylinder car. The sound is being pushed through the speakers, and I know that there are a couple of companies out there that produce aftermarket exhaust systems with cat deletes using titanium, using stainless steel, but at the end of the day, they don't really sound good. At the end of the day, you're driving, not only is it a turbo car that we all know turbos will cut off from the sound, it's also a 3-cylinder. It does not have the adequate equipment for it to create a beautiful sounding engine roar. And every time I try or change my mind and want to buy an exhaust system so that I could make the sound better, I go on YouTube, I watch a couple of videos on how they sound. Examples here. You could see that the car is lacking. To me, at least, it sounds like a tractor. Especially on the lower RPMs, it sounds like a tractor. It doesn't sound like a proper supercar or a sports car. And I don't like that. At higher RPMs, when you're getting about 3,000, 4,000 RPM, the car does sound better. But at the end of the day, it's a 3-cylinder. No matter what you do to it, no matter what materials you use, no matter how much you tune it, the most you're gonna get is a tractor that is screaming. And that's one of the things that I dislike about the i8, because especially me, I like performance vehicles. My previous car was a 600 horsepower N54 335 E92, and that produced all sorts of noises, all sorts of bangs, flame throwing, everything. And going to the i8, the lack of it is quite etiquette, and you could feel it. And if that's something that you want a car that is loud, you want a car that is gonna turn heads, it's not gonna be this, at least not with its sound. With the looks, there's no discussion about it. This car looks beautiful. This car is a supercar killer. And I think the cops just stopped us. No, they didn't. They did? No, they didn't. They didn't. So yeah, when it comes to the sound, it lacks. And there's no way for you to produce any sort of good quality sound with the i8. And that's one of the things that I dislike about it, because it has the potential to be a beautiful supercar, to be an amazing performance vehicle. And it's not that it's not good. I mean, a lot of times you don't want to hear that banging and high revving and all of those. No, you don't want that. You just want to cruise around and you want to enjoy your time without having everybody look at you. Well, it is difficult in the i8, but at least sound-wise, it has its good and bads. All right, so it's a double-edged sword. Yeah, you get the comfort of driving a silent car, even with the engine on. It's not that disturbing to you. You can have a good conversation in the car without having to scream, without having to shout, so that your passenger would hear you. And on long drives especially, it sounds good. It's not going to disturb you. It's not going to start to bother you after a couple of 100 kilometers. But at the end of the day, when you do want to have that beautiful sound, when you do want to enjoy the pops and bangs and all of those good stuff that comes with a car of this caliber, you're not going to have it. Apologies for the change of outfit out of a sudden. It's because we're in a different day. It started raining all of a sudden and we had to stop filming. So, in conclusion, yes, the i8 has a lot of things which are not ideal to be living with on a day-to-day basis, but at the end of the day, these are all preferences. You are sacrificing something to gain something else, and that's one of the perks of owning a car like this one. You're not going to have the best of all worlds. You're going to have to sacrifice a couple of things, one of them being your comfort. But if that is not an issue for you, the i8 is going to be one of the best cars you can purchase when it comes to daily driving, when it comes to pushing the limits, going fast, whatever it is, you're going to enjoy your time. And this car is going to be a great purchase, especially right now that they are starting to go up in value after they stop production on the car. I highly suggest you take all of the things that I just said with a grain of salt, because at the end of the day, it is an amazing car, it is a beautiful vehicle, and I would highly recommend you purchase one. Thank you very much. See you next time.